Hey guys, after a few months, we're finally back with another not so straight out of the closet review. That's because it's been a very long time since we had a queer movie in theaters, so we're here to see Bottoms. Alright guys, so we just finished watching Bottoms, and just gotta say, that movie was not what I thought it was gonna be. Like, it is so chaotic. I knew it was gonna be chaotic, but, like, not that chaotic.
No, the whole, like, the world they are in is, like, a surreal-ass place. Mm-hmm. It's like there's shit that's, like, should not be normal, but it is. And I kind of like how it is. It just makes everything even more comedic. Mm-hmm. Like, there's like we put spoilers in there? I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But there's a football player, like, in a cage. Because he's like a wild animal type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was like a weird, like...
Yeah.
Bottoms is about, like, these two girls, PJ and... Josie. Who kind of, like, accidentally wanted to start this, like, self-defense or fight club in order to get coochie.
It's your classic take on, like, the two friends who have not yet, like, lost their virginities before moving on to college, except it's now about lesbians. Hey, you finally get that representation in the media.
In Fight Club.
In Fight Club. In Fight Club form. But yeah, the movie it's a comedy, obviously, we knew that going in, but it is, like, over the top, chaotic, so much gore and violence, it's so much, like, it's wild. It's wild. But overall, it was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I was definitely laughing, like, hysterically at a lot of different parts. I do have to say the beginning half of the movie felt a little bit messy, but once it got to a certain point, it felt more put together. Nonetheless, I still had a lot of fun during the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
But I just realized, like, that first half, I was like, wait, is this, like, a regular comedy or is this a parody movie? Because, like, just how everything... I don't know, just a lot.
I think it was like when I knew how this movie was going to be, and this is a spoiler, it was when, like, it was Josie who drove the car.
Yeah.
And she barely, like, she hit, like, one of the quarterback's knees. But not even a hit, it was just like a tap, like a touch.
Yeah.
And he gets so dramatic, and then you see all the football players, like, crowd him and just, like,
no!
scream to the skies. I was
Yeah.
like, this place is chaos. If any of those football players were like Kens from the Barbie movie, that's how they were acting.
It did remind me of Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those guys were, like, basically Ken. But yeah, I thought it was going to kind of be like a movie like Booksmart, because that also kind of has the same premise too, like both of them are trying
I saw the trailer. I knew it was not going to be like Booksmart.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe I got from it, but when we got to the movies, we were in for a completely different treat.
And Marshawn Lynch was in there, an actual football player. He was actually funny as hell in that one, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and just like the way that the teachers were talking to students was like, wow, like, where are we right now? Like, this is wild.
So is that principal too, right?
Mm-hmm. And the principal too. Like, every adult in this movie was just weird.
I also like the fact that, like they also, like, they're okay with, like, you know, queer students. It's just those two have to be so bad that they have written on their lockers, like, F word 1 and F word 2. Mm-hmm. It was just like, it's like, you know how bad or, like, how, like, unpopular you'd have to be the only, like, queer characters that have that label on
when
them.
there's, like, a whole bunch of other queer students.
Like,
they're just the really untalented gay kids. Is what
that was the principal said.
Yeah, the principal even makes an announcement. Could the two gay, untalented kids please come to my office now?
And they knew they knew immediately it was them. It was like, oh yeah, that's us.
But like I said, it's been such a long time since we've done an episode like this. It's because the last queer film that was in theaters was Bros.
And that was a while ago.
Then I think that was almost a year ago. But yeah, it's really nice to see another queer movie out in theaters. The movie theater was pretty packed, I'd say. Then again, I also want to point out, like, the only queer movies that we do see in theaters a lot are comedies. And I am looking forward to the day that we have, like, a serious type of film that's queer in theaters. But also, I mean, this is good enough to hold us over for
Just
a
go
while.
to A24.
Let's go to A24. Yeah, you're right.
This is the most accurate depiction of an average day in high school.
I wish.
Actually, I'm jealous. It's like, damn, I kind of want to be in this high school because this is it's chaotic as hell, man. You saw you can even tell how more surreal it was too when you see the posters in the background of those high schools.
Oh yeah,
There's some like interesting like it's one of those movies like once you rewatch it, you should rewatch it just to see what the other details they have because there's some good like visual gags in there.
There was a lot of times where like we saw it with our two other friends, Matt and Trayvon. I would go to my friend Matt and be like, hey, "Oh my God, like did you see that?" He's like, "Yeah, but like did you see that?" And I was like, "Wait, no, where?" Like,
there's like the
so
Gotch
much
milk
going on in
posters
the
and it shows like this muscle ass dude like pouring milk on himself.
Yeah, the movie is very, very raunchy.
This is the lesbians' American Pie.
Honestly, yeah. All right, so let's get to our ratings. Let's start with representation.
For representation, we give it a 9.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really happy that we finally have this sapphic film in theaters. We also have queer women of color in this film too, as like one of the leads, and that's like a nice breath of fresh air because usually we only have a lot of sapphic leads in like TV shows mainly instead of like big screen movies, and that's really nice to see. The whole thing of these two girls trying to finally hook up with other girls in high school is just it's a really fun twist on two women like trying to have like their first love in high school.
Yeah, and like you said, because like before it would just be movies like American Pie, like there's always the guys going after the girl.
Always the guys.
But now it's got the what do you say, the sapphic twist?
The sapphic twist on American Pie.
Yeah. But instead of like trying to go to clubs or anything, go to parties, they're starting like a whole fight club. And yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was very accurate because, I mean, I personally have had very similar, not the whole Fight Club experience per se.
Oh, you didn't do a Fight Club?
I didn't do a Fight Club.
I did one in my school.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, like the whole, when you're talking to somebody who you're interested in as another woman and you're just like saying these like little comments and like slowly building that. And like, I don't know, it was really funny and I really related to one of the characters. And then you also have like the queer woman who's in love with the straight woman but doesn't realize until like she gets super close. And
then she's like, "Oh, I know she's straight." It's like, yeah, of course she's straight. Everybody
knows that. But yeah, you have both spectrums of the sapphic love story / heartbreak in this. So
next is queer comfort.
So for queer comfort, we give it
another 9.
I could definitely see this movie becoming a lot of people's personalities.
Yeah, what I loved about this is that everybody there is like they all support like like queerness. It's just they just judge them on like the fucking like kind of like looks or personalities. So like I mentioned before, like the two main girls, their lockers are labeled like that, F1 and F2, right? And it like said, and everyone there is mostly also like queer as well, but they're like the only ones that no one like likes. This is crazy. Yeah,
there's just a lot of queerness in it. Like besides the whole fact that they made this whole club to like get with girls. Like it's such a comforting movie to watch, and I feel like it's just so enjoyable and has a lot of like rewatchability to it.
It's got like a lot also, like pretty like. Variety of type of characters in there, like the one who's basically like their high school crackhead, the one who huffs paint.
Yeah, you got the crackhead. Every type of woman.
The one who's
somebody.
The one who's like infatuated with like bombs, apparently.
Yeah. No, but these are two different characters. You got the crackhead and the person obsessed with bombs. Two completely different characters, believe it or not.
They said the Black Republican.
Well, you got Black Republicans.
It has something for a little bit of everyone.
Something for everybody in this movie.
That's such a basic shit to say.
Something for everybody.
Really makes you feel like a raging lesbian, this movie.
It really does. Next up, Originality.
For Originality, we give it I give it an 8.
I give it a 7.9.
Only way it's a little lower is, like I said, this is like those types of like raunchy high school movies.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously the twist is now is that it's all focused on these two women trying to get with these other chicks. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, it's your classic movie of these two high schoolers trying to like get with people before they finally move on to the next stage of their lives. Because like throughout high school, like nothing ever happened with them. Like, and like you just said, it's that but with the lesbian twist.
Instead of like the usual like, oh, let's go to parties and all that, they literally just do a fight club.
Yeah, but like I said, like it's still a 7.9, which is a decently high score because I don't think anybody would have seen a lot of the things that happened in this movie coming. It's definitely original in that aspect, and besides that basic plot point, all of the rest of it is definitely very unique.
I just like those of the like how they made the high school like exaggerated ways.
Yeah, it felt very like Mean Girls, but also like those early 2000s like parody movies.
Exactly, yeah.
But I have something to say about that in the writing portion of this rating.
Next up, writing.
So for writing, I give it a 7.
I have a 7.5.
So like I said in the previous portion of the ratings, for the writing aspect, I give a kind of a lower score because for the first half of the movie, I did feel like it was a little bit messy. It was trying to find itself, but I still had a really good time during the first half. It wasn't until, I forget what part of the movie it was, but during the second half, it felt much more established. A lot of the scenes were, the pacing was a lot better. In the first half, I feel like the pacing was definitely a little bit off. And at the same time, I didn't know if it was like a regular comedy movie or a parody movie. It did feel like it was a little bit of both. It was kind of flip-flopping because of like how ridiculous a lot of stuff was. But like I said, during the second half, it finally felt like it found itself, and the ridiculousness of it felt appropriate now that it like got to that point of the movie.
I get what you're saying though, because in the beginning too, I was getting confused with some of the characters. How also they were getting established. Not to, like you did. It just started off as like almost like a normalist type movie, and then it was just got a little bit more jumbly. Like I said, especially for some of the characters that were being established. And then and you know, and halfway through, it finally was like starting to fix itself a bit more.
But yeah, it was still a very fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
It was
even the jokes they were saying like was like landing.
The jokes definitely give it a little bit of a bump in the writing category because I wonder if Marshall and Lish was like improving some of that because that shit was what he kept saying. I feel like a lot of the lines were definitely improvised because they had the whole bloopers at the end.
Yeah, they were saying different lines.
Stay for the bloopers, it's great.
It really is. And then finally, overall.
So for our overall score, we give it 9.5.
8.9.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to see queer movies in theaters, and I can't wait to have a lot more of them, hopefully soon. I know the next one we want to do is Drive Away Dolls. But anyway, Bottoms was so much fun to watch. I would definitely watch it again. But yeah, it was just such a great time, and like I said a million times already, I'm so happy to see, like, a sapphic film in theaters.
I like the violence. The fighting sequences was like it got so bloody. It's that's what I love of it. It just got blood for no reason. And I'm like, oh, that's why it's rated R.
Yeah, I mean, not totally a spoiler because like it is about like a fight club. There is this fight scene at the very end that I think my jaw was dropped the entire time just watching the different things happen in the sequence.
People died. That's all we can say.
People did die. But anyway, let's get to our total. Alright, and so for our QPR total, Bottoms got an 84.8, which is a B. But yeah, it's definitely well deserved. I can't wait to see what everyone else thinks of this movie, because I think did it come out this week? We're reviewing this.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, we're reviewing this the week it came out, so hopefully it does get some more traction, and a lot of people do enjoy it almost as much as we did.
I would predict that this would be become like a cult classic in a way.
Support queer movies whenever they come out in movie theaters, because we barely have any, and it's just nice to help support like queer filmmakers and queer movies, and besides when they just come out on a streaming service and get canceled before season 2 comes out.
Yeah, and I like to point this out. If you guys also know any other movies, because like I said, I didn't see this trailer until like last week. If you guys know any other movies that are coming out but have bad advertisement, like queer movies, let us know in the comments and we'll check it out.
And any other suggestions, and don't forget to follow us on social media. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.